This conference will now be recorded.
Yani Madad everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा अल वाहिदुल कहार। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा अल वाहिदुल कहार। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा अल हय्युल कय्यूम। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा अल हय्युल कय्यूम। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील ونعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل 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 ونعم المولى ونعم النصير शहज़ादाए यगानाए शहंशाह बे मिसाल परवरदिगार पाक खुदावंद ला इज़ाल शहज़ादाए यगानाए शहंशाह बे मिसाल परवरदिगार पाक खुदावंद ला इज़ाल शहज़ादाए यगानाए शहंशाह बेमिसाल परवरदिगार पाक खुदावंद लाइज़ाल 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 शहजादाए यगानाए शहंशाह बेमिसाल परवरदिगार पाक खुदावंद लाइजाल शुक्रिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह शुक्रिल्लाह।
Yali Madad Aziz sir, Yali Madad
याली
friends.
मदद याली मदद सुभान अल्लाह सुभान अल्लाह। ये कौन तस्वीर निकाल रहा था?
गुलजार भाटिया।
गुलजार। बहुत खूब सुभान अल्लाह। बहुत नवाजिश। थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर joining याली मदद टू ऑल फ्रेंड्स। आज हम अपना इल्म व आमाल का हिस्सा नंबर 23 जो जमात खाने की सीरीज है उसके अंदर स्टेजेस ऑफ द सोल को कवर करने की कोशिश करेंगे। थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर joining Yali Mother to all friends. Today we will continue on the knowledge and action part 23 in the Jamaat Khana series. As all of you will remember, we did at the time of the death, journey hereafter, and today we will cover the stages of the soul. Hope and prayer is that if we would understand the stages of our soul, it would help us see where we have come from, who we are, how are we the way we are, and where we are going. And where we are going. As the Ruhaniyat or the Ruhani interests us more than anything, any other subject. I think it would be very helpful, in my humble opinion, if we would understand who we are and where we have come from. That will help us see where we are going. And hopefully, it will ease our mind about our deceased family member, friends, and Jamaat. इंशाल्लाह आज हम रूह के जो अलहदा अलहदा मरातिब हैं अगर उसको समझते हैं तो उम्मीद है कि हमारे दिलों में जो एक सवाल बार बार आता है कि हमारे रूहानी फैमिली फ्रेंड्स जमात वो मर के कहाँ जाते हैं उनका क्या हुआ और ये सब्जेक्ट ऐसा लगता है जैसा हम सबको बहुत ज्यादा पसंद भी है और तंग भी करता है अगर हम अपने रूह के मरातीब को समझ गए तो उम्मीद है कि हमारे सवालात का जवाब आसान हो जाएगा और फिर हमारे दिल में से ये फिक्र खत्म हो जाएंगी कि हम मरने के बाद कहाँ जाते हैं और हमारे रिश्तेदार और लोग कहाँ जाते हैं इंशाल्लाह बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम मैं मौलाए मेहरबान हिज शफकत मर्सी हिज लाइट हिज नूर हिज ब्लेसिंग्स हिज खानावदान be upon us. May we walk on this Sirat al Mustaqim in the light of the Noor of the Imam of the time. May his hand, blessed, Mubarak hand, be on our shoulder, so we may take this journey under his mercy, Rahmat, as he is the Rahman, the Rahim, the Kareem, the Al Akram, Al Akram, Al Akram, the most merciful, the most merciful, the most merciful indeed. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. There are many stages of the soul. हमारी रूह जिसको हम हमारी अना कहते हैं वो बहुत सारे मरातीब से स्टेजेस से गुजर कर आती है शायद उसका अंदाजा हमको नहीं है our soul goes through many stages before we can say that this is my I, my soul, my identity. This is me. For example, our soul has four stages, and that is the Rue Jamadat or Jamadati, Madani Ru, mineral soul. And I will prove it to you each stage within yourself. हमारे अंदर एक मिसाल के तौर पर चार किस्म की रूहें या रूह के स्टेजेस हैं. An example, we have four kinds or four stages of the soul. और उसको मिसालों से और यकीन के साथ समझेंगे. जैसा कि हमारे अंदर मादनी या जमादाती या रूए जमादात है. रूए जमादात है. What is the proof and example of that? उसका क्या सबूत और मिसाल है कि हमारे अंदर मट्टी की रूह है, रूह जमादाती है. अगर आप एक बच्चे को जो अभी अभी जन्म लिया है उसको बांध कर एक कॉर्नर में डाल दें तो वो पत्थर की तरह वहां पर पड़ा रहता है. बहुत ही कम उसके अंदर हरकत होती है. If you look at a baby, a born baby, as we tie them up in a piece of cloth and we put them on a side, they sit there or sleep there or lay there like a rock. Hardly any movement in that born child, born baby. It is the mineral soul that keeps us together the way we are today. If this was not a mineral soul in us, we will not be together the way we are. The formation of our body is due to the mineral soul. आज जितने भी बड़े हम हो गए हैं और जिस तरह से भी हम दिखते हैं वो इस वजह से हम जमा है क्योंकि ये मट्टी की खुसूसियात है कि उसको आप जमा कर उसको एक इंसान की शक्ल, एक पुतला बना दें। अगर हमारे अंदर मट्टी की रूह ना होती तो हम बिखर जाते हैं, उड़ जाते हैं। It is due to our mineral soul, the way we are, the way we are. I understand this ilm is hard and never been given to us before. But those of my friends who are on this line and who has been listening to this Garib and Nachis, you know we have talked about this before, and those who are new friends on this line, we still have long way to go to learn the truth, the hakikat of our soul at many stages. But if you pay attention, inshallah, this ilm will help you understand where and how our soul has come and where and when our soul will depart, how it will decompose, as we have understood how it has composed in the first place, inshallah. So, mineral soul is part and partial and necessary part of our being. Without the mineral soul, our body would not have taken the shape and the form that it has taken, as it is the attribution of the matti, soil, that keeps us together. Otherwise, we will fly away in the wind. The second part or stage of the soul we have is the vegetative soul, Ruhe Nabadat or Ruhe Nabadati, पौधों की या दरख्त की रूह. Why do we need that? And how does it play a role in our formation or growth? And I will tell you exactly when all these stages take place in mother's womb. So we will start all the way from the conception and the growth that it takes in mother's womb. We will take the journey of the soul from the time of conception to wherever you are today. A detailed review of our journey and stages of the soul. If there was no vegetative soul, रूए नबादाती हमारे अंदर अगर ना होती तो हम कभी भी अपनी माँ के पेट के अंदर बड़े नहीं होते. आज जो हम लेसन सीखने जा रहे हैं उसमें हम देखेंगे कि हम किस तरह से हमारी माँ के पेट के अंदर आ गए और किस तरह से हमारी माँ के पेट के अंदर हम बड़े होने लगे. और उसकी वजह यह है कि हमारे अंदर दूसरी रूह या रूह का दूसरा स्टेज जो रूह नबादाती का है उसका आगाज हुआ. After the conception, it was due to the vegetative soul, the second stage of our soul that had taken place, and we started to grow. What would happen if the second stage of the soul, vegetative soul, would not have taken place? What do you think would have happened to us? Our mother did conceive us, but if the second part, the second stage, the vegetative soul has not taken place, what would happen to us? Our mother would have miscarriage. Have you ever thought why? Let me apologize to my sisters who has gone through this pain of miscarriage. My apology. I do not mean to hurt you emotionally because this can be an emotional subject, topic, or point for you. My apologies to my sisters. But here we are trying to learn different stages of the soul. So I may have to give the language and use the vocabulary which is needed and required for everyone to understand. Have you ever thought why does a woman would have miscarriage? अगर हमारे माँ के पेट के अंदर जब हम पैदा हो गए और अगर उसके अंदर रूए नबादाती नहीं आती तो क्या आप सोच सकते हैं कि हमारा क्या होता? हमारी माँ को मिसकरेज हो जाता। माफी के साथ हमारी उस बहनों के लिए जिसके लिए ये वर्ड और ये टॉपिक इमोशनल या जज्बात के साथ हो, क्योंकि वो इस दर्द से गुजरी है जिसके लिए मैं माफी चाहता हूं। लेकिन चूंकि हमें कुछ सीखना है तो उसके लिए नाचीज को वो अल्फाज यूज करने होंगे जिससे हम समझ सकें। हमारी वो बहनें इसलिए मिसकरेज कर देती है क्योंकि उसके अंदर बच्चा तो जन्म ले लिया लेकिन उसके अंदर दूसरा स्टेज सेकंड जो सोल थी रूए नबादाती की वो नहीं आई। उसकी वजह से वो मट्टी बिखर गई और उसको मिसकरेज हो गया। If there was no vegetative soul would take place after the conception, the mother would miscarriage the mineral soul as it would not be able to grow. What did we just learn? I can guarantee you the science, the doctor will not be able to tell you this because they would not even know. They may give you some medical reason. And there, I'm sure there is a doctor on this line. There are maternity nurses on this line, and they may give you a medical reason, but they will not be able to give you hakikat, the truth, the very reason for miscarriage, because this is part of Rohaniyat. One must see that to be able to explain that. How would doctor and nurses be able to see and explain? So they will give you a medical reason, not a spiritual or the hakiki reason. अगर हमारी इस लाइन के ऊपर कोई डॉक्टर और कोई नर्स है तो वो आपको कोई मेडिकल रीजन देंगी कि एक माँ एक औरत को मिसकरेज क्यों हो जाता है, लेकिन वो हकीकत से बहुत दूर है। हकीकत तो उसको पता होती है कि जिसने अपनी आंखों से ये देखा है। ये तो रूहानियत की बात थी, और वो रूहानियत से ही बता सकता है कि एक माँ किस तरह से बच्चे को कंसीव करती है और फिर उसके पेट में वो बच्चा किस तरह से बड़ा होता है, और कब रूह जमादाती अंदर आती है और कब रूह नबादाती उसके अंदर आती है और बच्चा ग्रो होता है। थर्ड स्टेज, एनिमल सोल। हमारे अंदर तीसरी रूह या तीसरा दर्जा रूह का जो है वो जानवर की रूह है। रूह हैवानी कहते हैं इसको। एनिमल सोल टेक प्लेस। When does animal soul take place? In the mother's womb, when the child starts to suck the nutrition and the blood from mother's womb. But that is only the first part of animal soul. Rest of that take parts after he or she is born. जब बच्चा माँ के पेट के अंदर माँ के दूध और माँ की एनर्जी को और माँ के खून को चूसने लगता है, तो उसके अंदर तीसरी रूह या रूह का तीसरा स्टेज आ जाता है, और वो रूह हैवानी है, एनिमल सोल। लेकिन ये सिर्फ एक छोटा सा पार्ट है। एनिमल सोल के 3 और दर्जात है जो बाद में आते हैं, यानी कि जन्म लेने के बाद भी उसके अंदर अभी तक एनिमल सोल मुकम्मल नहीं हुई होती है, वो बाद में होती है। द एनिमल सोल टेक completion after the child is born, but initial part comes while he or she is in the mother's womb. Question: what happens if the third stage, the animal soul, does not take place? अगर एक बच्चे के अंदर जानवर की रूह नहीं आती है तो फिर उसका क्या होता है? वो बच्चा स्टील बोन होता है। If the animal, the third stage of the soul, does not take place in proper time, then the child will be born still born. Again, my apology. I'm sorry if I'm touching on your emotion, or my apologies to my sister, because you may have gone through this pain, and therefore my apology. लेकिन जब कोई बच्चे के अंदर रूए नबादात नो रूए हैवानी, when a child does not take stage, the third stage of the animal soul, and if that soul does not take place in proper time, तो वो बच्चा मरा हुआ पैदा होता है, क्योंकि उसके अंदर जो रूह आनी थी वो नहीं आई। रूह जमादाती आ गई, रूह नबादाती भी आ गई, लेकिन रूह हैवानी नहीं आई, जो जरूरी थी उसकी पैदाइश के लिए। He did receive the mineral soul when mother conceived the baby. He did receive the vegetative soul as the baby was growing in her womb. But the third stage of the soul did not take place in proper time, and therefore that baby died and did not take birth in this world. In this world. Now, question. Even though that baby looks like a human baby when the baby takes birth, but if you ask a person with the ilm, ruhaniyat, and wisdom, he can tell you there is no difference in the human baby and animal baby at that time. If you are, if you can see the chart in front of you, so far the baby is born and it is alive, but you see on my chart there is no human soul yet. The baby has not received the fourth stage of the soul. Not has received fourth stage of the soul. And therefore, even the baby looks like a human baby. There is no difference between this human baby and animal, because this baby has three stages of soul. Animal also have three stages of soul. इस बेबी के अंदर भी तीन किस्म की रूहें हैं और जानवर में भी तीन किस्म की रूहें होती है. मिनरल सोल, रूह जमादाती. वेजिटेटिव सोल, रूह नबादाती. एनिमल सोल, रूह हैवानी. There is no difference between human baby and animal baby. As animal does not have a human soul, this baby does not have a human soul yet. Yet. So now when does and how does human soul comes into the human baby? As I mentioned earlier, a doctor will not be able to tell you all of this because this is outside the physical medicine or knowledge. This knowledge is has to do with spiritual science. This one is called Rohani Ilm, Rohani science, Rohani Alum. This cannot be told or resolved by the physical science. A doctor will tell you this baby is a human baby because it looks like a human baby, but it's not. There is no difference between this baby and animal. So when does the fourth human soul comes? We must understand the animal soul and the completion of the animal soul first, so we can make a difference between human baby and animal. When a baby starts to talk, starts to make sound, is there any difference between this animal baby that making sound and an animal making sound? Is there any difference? Animal makes all kind of sound. Moo, you know, meh, all kind of sounds. Makes no sense to us. So does the human baby. He or she makes all kind of sounds that makes no sense to us. That one is called Rue Natika. And Rue Natika is one of the stages of the animal soul. And on other side, if this is developed, is part of the human soul. But when initial part is belong to animal soul, when a baby makes funny sounds. रूए नातिका का जो पहला हिस्सा है वो जानवर का है, जहां पर एक बच्चा बेकार की आवाजें निकालता है जो हमारी समझ में नहीं आती है। लेकिन उसी रूए नातिका का ऊपरला हिस्सा डेवलप किया हुआ तरक्की याफ्ता हिस्सा इंसानी हिस्सा है, जहां पर वो बोलता है तो हमको समझ में आता है। When this Rue Natika, speaking soul, is developed, then that becomes a human speaking soul. Rue Natika, developed speaking soul. That is the part of the human soul. सब समझ गए? Everyone understood that part? Remember, we are talking about spiritual science. You have to put two and two together to understand the science. ये रूहानी साइंस है, जाहिरी डॉक्टरी नहीं है। यहां पर आपको चीजों को मिलाना होगा, समझना होगा, ताकि आपको रूहानी साइंस समझ में आए। Now we need to talk about human soul. अब हम बात करेंगे कि इंसानी रूह कब और किस तरह से आती है। There are three stages of human soul. Three stages. We all have heard in Imam's Farman, in Ginan, in Quran, in the lessons of our Mafi, so sorry, excuse me. We all have heard from our Farman, Ginan, Quran, and the resources of our Arifin. There are some human, they walk like human, but they are not human, but animal. Have you heard of this in Imam's Farman? That you look like human, but you are animal. In our Ginan, that you may look like human, but you are animal. In the Quran, they walk and talk like human, but they are animals. आपने सुना है ना, फरमान में भी, गिनान में भी, कुरान में भी, और हमारे आरिफों के किताबों में भी, कि कुछ लोग हैं जो दिखने में तो इंसान लगते हैं लेकिन जानवर हैं। You know why? Because they never develop human soul. They never develop human soul. क्यों उनको जानवर कहा? कि उसमें इंसान की रूह कभी आती ही नहीं है. There are three stages of human soul, developed human soul. इंसानी रूह के तीन मर्तबे हैं, तीन स्टेजेस है जिस पर वो डेवलप होती है. It's called rational soul. उसको रूए अकली कहते हैं. And those are on three stages. उसको रूए अकली कहते हैं और उसके तीन दर्जात हैं. इनफरादी, इंडिविजुअल, इज्तिमाई, in the group, collective. इंसानी, universal level. There are three stages. Individual, in the group, at the level of humanity. Infiradi, ijtimai, or kulli. Three stages. And I will give you example to understand. When a child is told, and when mother is trying to rationalize, to teach a child and say, Beta, don't touch the fire. If you touch the fire, you will burn yourself. And the child thinks that if I touch the fire, it only individually will harm me. That is the first stage of rational soul. He does not understand the same fire which can burn me can also burn my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, or anyone around me. He does not have the rational soul. He only have one single individual rational soul. That if I touch the fire, it will burn me. And that's all he knows. That's how far his rationalities go. जब हम किसी बच्चे को सिखाते हैं कि बेटा आग चूल्हे के पास नहीं जाना, तुम जल जाओगे, तो वो समझता है कि ये आग जो है वो सिर्फ मुझे जलाएंगी. उसके अंदर अभी तक ये सोचने की ताकत नहीं है कि यही आग मेरे भाई बहन, मेरे माँ बाप और दूसरे लोगों को भी जला सकती है. उसमें ये सोचने की शक्ति नहीं है, ताकत नहीं है, क्योंकि अभी तक उसने वो डेवलप नहीं किया है रेशनल सोल. Let me stop you here and ask a question so you may think. You know, some of us who are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year old, we have never developed the second rational soul. Why would I say that? Why would I say that we have never, ever developed the second stage of rational soul? Because on daily basis, we do things that we will never do to ourselves. We say things which we don't like for ourselves. Our action hurt others, and you don't think you are hurting others. You don't think that. But you don't want that for yourself. You think this will hurt me, what my action is and what I'm saying. But when I'm doing the same action and I'm saying the same word, it's not hurting anyone. How many times in a day or a week do you say to yourself, well, I'm not hurting anyone? You know why you said that? I'm not hurting anyone because you never developed the second rational soul. Ask yourself, am I a complete human or am I a human that looks like a human? Because we never developed the second stage of the rational soul, which would have made us a human. Ask yourself, you don't have to answer to me. How many times on a daily basis we say, well, I'm not hurting anyone? That sounds very familiar, right? कितनी मर्तबा हम कहते हैं कि मेरे एक्शन, मेरे आमाल, मेरा वचन, मेरा बोल, मेरे अल्फाज, मैं तो किसी को तकलीफ नहीं पहुंचाता हूं ना। इससे पता चलता है कि हमारे अमाल और हमारे अल्फाज जब दूसरों को तकलीफ पहुंचाता है तो हम क्या समझते हैं कि ये अल्फाज मेरे को तो तकलीफ पहुंचाएंगे, लेकिन मेरे ये अमाल, मेरे अल्फाज दूसरे को तकलीफ नहीं पहुंचाते हैं। बताए क्यों? कि आपने इंसानियत के जो दूसरा दर्जा था उसको कभी हासिल ही नहीं किया। दिखने में तो इंसान लगते हैं, लेकिन वचन से, अमाल से इंसान नहीं है। और ये रोजाना ही हम करते हैं। क्या कहते हैं? हम ऐसे अल्फाज मुंह से निकालते हैं जो किसी को तकलीफ पहुंचाते हैं, लेकिन हम क्या बोलते हैं? मैं कहा किसी को तकलीफ पहुंचाता हूं। लेकिन वही अल्फाज अगर आप पर इस्तेमाल किए जाए तो आपको तकलीफ होती है, आपको तकलीफ होती है। बिकॉज वी नेवर डेवलप द सेकंड रैशनल सोल, क्योंकि हमने रूए अकली का दूसरा मर्तबा नहीं हासिल किया। हम दिखने और बोलने में तो इंसान है, लेकिन हकीकी मानों में इंसान नहीं है। Now you understand why Farman, why Ginan, why Quran, why our Arifin tells us that there are humans amongst us who walk, talk, and looks like human, but they are no more than animal. इसीलिए हमारे फरामीन में, गिनान में, कुरान में और आरिफों ने हमें बताया कि आप दिखने, बोलने और चलने में तो इंसान लगते हैं, लेकिन हकीकत में इंसान नहीं है। Then there is a third stage of rational soul. Then not only my words, my action can harm me, my family, my friends, my Jamaat, but the entire humanity. How can we hurt entire humanity? Our one action can hurt the entire humanity. For example, pollution, environment, doing something online, social media, creating some kind of weapon which can hurt the entire humanity. For example, when science understood the power of atomic and nuclear, They could have used that for humans' benefit. In example, electric, purification of the water, transportation to help humanity. But then instead of that, or in the second use of that, they created the bombs to hurt humanity. You see, two part of that. Those who use these resources, science, for the human benefit are truly human. Those who created those same resources to hurt humanity are not human. They look like human, but they are not human because they never developed their rational soul. Then my action can hurt human. My action can hurt me, my family, my Jamaat, and the humanity. That is the third rational soul a human develop. Same question to ourselves. इंसान अपने अंदर तीन किस्म की रूए अकली को एडॉप्ट करता है. आप पूछे कि मेरे अंदर क्या है, अपने आप से पूछें. You must ask yourself, which rational soul have I developed? Do you feel for yourself? First rational soul. Do I feel for my family, my Jamaat? You know, a lot of us feel for our family, zero for our Jamaat. Then you have now developed the second rational soul. Ask yourself, what have I done for my Jamaat today? You do everything for your family. What have you done for your Jamaat today? You have not developed the second rational soul. And then, third, are my actions, my words, especially on social media, what are my action and my words can do to harm myself, my Jamaat, and the humanity at large? If your answer is that I don't care how humanity feels, how it harms my Jamaat, if it's good for me, then I'm going to do it. If it's good for me, I'm going to do it. If that is your thought process, you have not developed the human soul. You may look like a human, but you have not developed human soul. अगर आप कहते हैं कि मेरी हरकत मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है, जो मेरे लिए अच्छा है वो मैं करूंगा. हम बोलते हैं ना, मेरे लिए अच्छा है वो मैं करूंगा, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि किसको क्या होता है. अगर आपका ये ख्याल है कि मैं जो करता हूं वो मेरे लिए करता हूं, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि मेरी जमात को फायदा है कि नुकसान है, इंसानियत को फायदा है कि नुकसान है, आप अपनी डेली हरकतों को देखें, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि हम दिखने में तो इंसान है, मुकम्मल तौर पर इंसान नहीं है. If you look at the Imam and the Nurani family, look at their words and their action. They are working for humanity. You know why? Because they are complete, developed human. We are working for me, me, me. because we are not complete developed human. But if we wish, we can follow on Nurani family's footstep and we can become complete human. No one is stopping you. No one is stopping you. Look at what Nurani family is doing. Their action, their words, and then look at your action and your words. Especially this word, I don't care. That word is not a good word. You should care. As a human, you should care for yourself, for your Jamaat, which include your family, and humanity, which includes your Jamaat. You should care. That will tell you you are a developed human. And if you have these three soul, then you are a complete human. Now you are looking for one more soul. Even after you are complete human, you are seeking one more soul, and that is the Holy Spirit, the soul of the Imam. And inshallah, with the ilm and ibadat, we are seeking Ru'ul Qudus, the Ruh of the Imam, that understanding which Nurani family has will bring the Holy Spirit in us. Imam, active Nur in us. And then we can call ourselves complete human. If you like, in a short, I can even tell you the stages before you were conceived in your mother's womb. Before you were conceived in your mother's womb. A doctor, medical science will not be able to tell you. But spiritual science will tell you where you were before you were conceived through your father into your mother. That's the spiritual science. Our soul initially were in one single soul in the form of a frozen soul, Munjamid Ruh in the Imam. Then it took the second part, became the particles, where we found our identity within the Imam. Is called Zarat. पहले हमारी रूह इमाम के अंदर उसके वननेस के अंदर मोनो रियलिटी के अंदर मुंजमिद थी, फ्रोजन थी, उसके साथ एक थी. उसके बाद हमारी रूह जरात के अंदर आई जहां पर हमारी अना बनी. I'm telling you something, before you were conceived, then those particles became alive, not in the form of a baby, in the form of the sperm, but live sperm. उसके बाद हमारी वो रूह जिंदा हो गई जरात की सूरत में और स्पर्म की सूरत में हमारे बाप की पुष्ट के अंदर, और वहां से होती हुई हमारी माँ के पेट में उसके रहीम के अंदर आ गई और वो स्पर्म की सूरत में थी. और उसके बाद तमाम स्टेजेस से गुजरते हुए हम इस दुनिया के अंदर पैदा हो गए. और इंशाल्लाह हम एक मुकम्मल इमाम की रहमत के साथ एक अच्छे और मुकम्मल इंसान है. After the single soul, frozen soul, we came into the particles, then we came into the life germs in the sperm, in the back of our father, into the womb of our mother, and then we took the birth in this physical world. And with the rahmat and the mercy and the guidance and the ilm of the Imam, we became a complete human. And inshallah, we are not like animal, but we are a complete human. And this can only be achieved with spiritual science, not with the physical medical science. They will not be able to tell you how, when, and where. Gee, let me stop here. This was hopefully a very enlightening subject and ilm for us to understand the complete cycle of our soul from the very, very, very beginning to the end. G.
He says, Subhanallah, sir. Indeed, sir, we can understand through the spiritual science the stages of the soul. Subhanallah, sir.
I mean,
Friends, please share your questions in the chat, or you can use the hand raise feature to ask questions. Okay, so here, first question in the chat. For what reason will some baby not get vegetative or animal soul and others do?
very good question. Ali Allah, for the purpose of test and purpose of teaching and purpose of science, with his most merciful wisdom, to show us. When I say us, those of us who are paying attention to the spiritual science, how Allah can give or not give, show his signs in different stages. If this never happens, how would we learn the spiritual science? So there is a wisdom in it, and there is a test for the family, for the humanity, and especially for those arifin who like to pay attention to the spiritual science. There is a great learning and test for them. And that is the reason that Allah shows us His sign at every stage. Every stage. And His Amr comes at every stage. First Amr came when mother conceived that sperm, that child, from the husband, from the father. That's the first Amr. Without his Amr, mother would have never conceived that child. Second Amr came when the vegetative soul came and the child started to grow. Third Amr came when the animal soul came and child started to suck the nutrition from the mother's womb. The fourth Amr came when the child was born in this physical world. Fifth Amr came when the child started to speak. Ruh and Natika came. The sixth Amr came when the first rational soul was understood. Every stages, if the Amr did not come, even if the baby was born, he or she will die quickly, or he will never speak. He will be dumb and deaf, or he will never create or develop rational soul. He will not be a sane human. You see, Amar, 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 Amar. If you are a good Momin, an intellectual moment, a developed rational moment, you will see the signs and you will do shukr. Thank you, Mola Bapa, for giving my child one more opportunity. Every stage a mother goes through, and if she is understanding the ilm and understanding the hikmat of the spiritual science, she will say, thank you, Mola Bapa, that you gave my child a good body, a good rational soul, so my child is a complete human. Look for Imam's mercy on your child so you can understand the Imam's mercy on us. So all of this is there for you to learn and give shukr. Ji.
Right, sir. We have next question. So, according to my understanding, in order to acquire the fourth stage, you need the batini didar. Is this correct?
No, that is not correct. Fifth stage you need batini didar. Fifth stage is rule kudus. Fifth stage. Fourth stage, every single human can, if wants to, can go through it. G.
Okay. Right, so the next question is, you said there are humans walking around who really are animals. Why then are they born, and what happens to them after death if they don't develop the third rational soul?
So why third rational soul? What about the second rational soul? Most majority of human, that include us, never even develop second rational soul. I would worry about them more than I would worry about the third one. Majority of human never develop second rational soul. How many times have you said, I don't care? That should be the question. What would happen to you and me? Don't worry about others. What will happen to you and me? When we understand this, we must ask Imam. And every human can develop themselves if they wish to. For us and for others, if they are people, a human, they will always seek this third rational soul. But if they do not develop, for whatever reason, because they were selfish or they were, whatever reason, did not care enough about the others, then may the mercy of Allah be on their soul. If you wanted to learn one thing from me with this question today, I would say worry about yourself. What have you done today to conform and make sure that you have developed second, at least second rational soul, if not third? Worry about your soul. Then we will worry about others. G. What will happen to my soul? G.
Yes, sir. Next question is, are we going to become frozen soul again in Imam again? Are we saying that we are going through cycles of frozen soul, then become
Absolutely.
particles, etc., again and again? So this cycle is never going to stop.
Absolutely. Look at your clock. Doesn't new day begins every after every day ends? That is absolutely correct. Our soul is in the circle, just like a clock. A day ends, a new day begins. If we have come from the mono reality, from the soul of the Imam, we shall return back to the soul of Imam. How are we going to return back in the soul of Imam? Not in this body. We must dissolve in the Imam as we were in the beginning. You are from him and you shall return back to him. G.
It's the question. Friends requesting, please go through again speaking soul and rational soul.
Well, I cannot take another 20 minutes to explain that. So you would have to re-listen to this lecture. But in the short 1 minute answer, speaking soul, Ruhen Natika, is in the animal and human both. You can see here, this soul is in both human and animal. But in the Ruhen Natika, there are two stages: making sound and making sense. जानवर की रूह और बोलने की रूह, जिसको रूह नातिका कहते हैं, उसके दो स्टेजेस हैं। जानवर भी आवाज निकालता है, बच्चा भी आवाज निकालता है, लेकिन जानवर वहां तक ठहर जाता है। इंसान की रूह नातिका एक और फॉर्म लेती है, उसको बोलते हैं बोलना और सेंस बनाना, टू स्पीक एंड मेक सेंस. It is the second Ruhe Natika which makes sense, is part of the humanity, not the part of the animal soul. And the rational soul, there are three stages of human soul: the individual rational soul, collective rational soul, and universal rational soul. Ruhe Akli, Zati, Ruhe Akli, Ijtimai, Ruhe Akli, Kulli. Three stages. G.
Okay, so next question is, should mothers be praying for not to be tested and not go through to pain of losing baby, and will it work?
Absolutely. Did you say would it work? Was that the end of the question?
Yes, sir, friends, will it work?
Okay. Because I'm not God, nor I claim to be anything other than Garib and Nachis, I cannot tell you if it would work or not. But your first question is correct. Your second question is not correct. Your first question is correct. Yes. And actually, we do. We do pray. You ask any mother, they do pray, Ya Mola Papa, that now that you have given me a child in my womb, make sure he is healthy, and when he's born, he's a good baby, he will become a good child, a good human. I think every mother does that without question, and they should pray. And I think they already pray. I don't think we need to even teach them that. If you ask any mother in this class right now, they will tell you, why would you even ask that question? We already doing that. Every mother prays without a question, without asking. And I think we do. And they should. And your second question is not a correct question. That we will leave that to the Imam, as he is Qadir Mutallak, and his mercy is on us, on our sister, on our mothers. Inshallah, his mercy is great and most most merciful. G.
All right, sir. Next question, sir. Well, you explained in your session already. The friends are, where was Ruh before mother's womb?
In father's back.
All right, sir. Next question is, how can we develop our and our children's rational souls?
Teach them good things. Don't, okay. Do not only make your child a doctor or engineer, make your child a good human. That's how you develop a human soul. Same for yourself. Do not just make money, make yourself a good human. That's how you develop your human soul. One time, my teacher told me this. She is also a school teacher in as a professional. She is a school teacher. She was in a classroom when bunch of school, in school you have a parent teacher conferences. She was asking, my teacher was asking every mother and every child, what would you like to be? What would you like to be? Would you like your child to be? What would you like your child to be? She was asking every one of them. And mother would say, I want my son to be doctor. The child say, I want it to be pilot. I want it to be engineer. I want this and I want that. At the end, somebody asked the teacher, teacher, what would you like all your students to be? You know what my teacher said? I want all my students to be a good human. If you are not a good human, it doesn't matter if you are a doctor or an engineer, pilot or a businessman. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are if you are not a good human. See, that is a human thinks like that. G.
All right, so I'm going to skip a couple of questions. So, friend who asked earlier about that frozen soul in Imam wants to extend the question. So, we return to Imam and then we also return to Earth. My question is this cycle going to end? Do we have a free will to stop this cycle? Why do we keep coming back?
You do have a free will to stop this cycle. If you asking me, would I stop this cycle? No, you will not. I would not either. But if you want, you can stop if you want. Because we come over here because we want to make our Imam happy. And I will never stop making my Imam happy. If you do not want your Imam to be happy, sure, you can stop the cycle. But that will not make your Imam happy. That is the spiritual science I'm talking about. What you are asking from very limited view. You are looking from here. I'm looking from here. If you look from here, you will never stop. But if you look from here, you want to stop. G. Let's make a last question. G.
All right, so
Sir, can I ask one question, sir, please? Sir,
you take this question and then
Assalamu
I will let you unmute here. Okay, just give me a second. All right, so the friend's asking, do the humans have power to go to next stage? I believe friend's asking the next stage means the Holy Spirit.
Of course. Absolutely. 101%. Have you not seen Jesus? Have you not seen our peers? Have you not seen Arfin and Kamlin? Absolutely. 101%. If that was not the case, I would have never put this over here. I would have never put this here. Absolutely yes. G.
All right, you can unmute your device. You can ask question. I'm not sure who was it.
Hi, sir. याली सर,
Yalim sir.
जो मिसकैरेज के बारे में समझाया ना सर, तो जैसे कुछ लोग है ना, मतलब खुद से मिसकैरेज करवा लेते कोई ना कोई रीजन से, मजबूरी से, या जैसे, तो वो गुनाह है या फिर उसको कैसा समझना चाहिए सर?
ओके, आप अपोर्शन की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक
यस
है
सर।
जी. So depending on who you are and why would you do that? Why would you do that? See, that it depends on that. If it's a selfish reason, then that's a sin. If it's a logical reason, remember our tariqa is tariqa of logic and intellect. If it's a logical reason, and at what stage do you do that? That is very important to understand. I would say if you have husband and you are, if you do get pregnant, do not do that. Do not do that because you are interfering with Allah's wish. But in other cases, rape, or there are other cases where you, if you do that, and if only reason you are doing it because it is logical and intellectual decision, then keep your hope and ask the mercy of the Imam to be on you. Have the prayers of the Imam and mercy of the Imam on you. आप समझ गए? इमाम के साथ दुआ मांगते हुए, माफी मांगते हुए, इमाम के ऊपर उम्मीद रखते हुए आप ये काम करें तो वो आपकी मर्जी है, मैं इनकरेज नहीं करता हूं जी.
थैंक यू सर, शुक्र है।
थैंक यू.
All right, so we have a couple of questions. I can save these questions for our next session. If you like.
अगर छोटे क्वेश्चन है तो क्विकली पूछ लें.
Okay, so one is a friend asking, what is soulmate?
I have no idea what that means. Soulmate. Oh, आप वो कहते हैं कि हमारा एक soulmate है. You can make your own soulmate. To an arif, to the imam, we are all his soulmate. All of us are the soulmate of the imam. To arif, we are all soulmate. And if you wish, you may have a soulmate too. That is up to you. G.
All right, so we just have one question only in the chat. While praying and trying to be a complete human being, can we do anything to help our beloved who has died and you feel for their stage of humanity?
Those who have died, how about we help our children who are living? How about we help our Jamaat who is living to be a good human? Wouldn't it make more logical sense? Instead of helping someone who have died to be a good human, how about we help those who are living to be a good human? If I understood your question correct. If I did not understand your question, my apology. If you want to rephrase your question, I'll give you one chance to go ahead and do that. Is there a correction in the question?
Yes, I think the friend's asking for the who has died.
Yeah. How are you going to make somebody a human if they already have died? See, that question is not logical or rational question. is not a logical question. How about we worry about our children, our Jamaat who's living, so we can help them make a human? G.
All right, sir. Just one more question. Is soul making a choice in the spiritual world to have a stillbirth? What is the purpose of doing that?
No, that's not a logical question. That's not a logical question. Birth and death is in hand of Allah. That's not a logical question. Please ask a logical question. Birth and the death is in hand of Allah. G.
Okay. All right, sir. You can don't have any questions. Okay, so friends asking, if you can correct the question, please.
Which question?
Oh, the last question, sir. Is soul making a choice in the spiritual world to have a stillbirth? What is the purpose of doing that?
Okay, so you understood that, right? The birth and death is in hand of Allah. So there are lectures that you can listen to understand further how we, our soul, make decision before we are born. Before we are born, it has nothing to do with the stillbirth. Okay, if you listen to those lectures called free will, you will understand. There are, I believe, 2 or 3 lectures on that. You will understand when and how we make decision for our own soul. But the birth and the death is in the hand of Allah. All right, so please listen to that. Your question can be answered in there, and inshallah you will learn so much more about the how and why we want to come to this world and why we were born still. Okay, listen to those lectures. It will help you a lot. Good question. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kamre Sahib. We should stop here.
All right, sir. We don't have any questions, so we can definitely stop here, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad,
Madad sir, shukar, alhamdulillah. Thank you,
Madad
sir.
Ya
sir.
Ali
Yali
Madad,
Madad
Ya Ali
sir.
Madad, Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Yeah, limited.